everybody, welcome back to our show for week 3 of off-season best ball. Your host is Davis Peng, known as Peng's Picks off Twitter. You can find me on Fantasy Six Pack of Stochastic, and with me is your co-host, the show owner of the channel, the ever so dope Hope. Hope, how you doing?
I'm good, Davis. That's quite the intro. I appreciate it. A lot of stuff happened in the NFL this week.
I have to give respect to the champion. You have the ring to show it off. You got the money to show it off. I have to see it every time we go on one of your drafts. It's a little bit envy on my end. All right. We have a lot to talk about this week. I mean, obviously, free agency occurred. Some guys got cut. Some guys got signed. A lot of guys that got signed.
Right.
Hope, I just want to ask right off the bat, give me one person that you really enjoyed that got signed, and one person you don't like that got signed, right? Give me your favorite and we'll give me your least favorite.
So I guess I don't have. It's tough. There's not been many big names in this free agency, right? I like the David Montgomery signing only because of what we saw happen with Jamal Williams last year. And I think that we just need to get into it. You know, we wanted to talk about this. It was on Twitter this week with some different people in the fantasy space talking about it back and forth. So I kind of, gave my opinion on it a little bit on Twitter saying, I didn't think this was great for DeAndre Swift at all. I haven't been drafting him. I think that the Lions have told us that they don't believe he can be kind of their guy. But got some pushback on it, and some good points were made by other people. I'm not going to lie. But what's your thoughts on that? Where are you at on both Montgomery and Swift with this signing?
So, I mean, you hit it right ahead. We talked about this even weeks before. Like, hey, how do you feel about Swift around 4, around 5? And I give my opinion that I don't consider him anything particular. People consider him as an RB1. Some say RB2. In best ball, I consider him as a boom bust type of flex player, right? He's my Mike Williams of running backs, right? Is he going to go off this week? Is he going to do nothing? Is he going to be injured for 8 games of the season? Who knows? I personally don't. I just stayed away. Like, I'm on your same boat with this. Give me David Montgomery for the way lesser price.
Right.
In the event that he stays at low ADP, I'm going to take him. I'm going to take him every chance I get. They paid him for 3 years. He's exactly what Jamal Williams is, but younger, right? He's an all-around coach's guy, can go up the gut, can pass catch a little bit, can pass block. That's Jamal Williams.
Yeah, and my stance on some of this running back stuff has really changed. I'm still a 0 RB person at heart, and I'm not going to change that just because of this. But the stuff that so it started with Hayden Winks and Josh Norris. Listening to them talk about the fantasy production via size of running backs and how you just never see those awesome seasons of guys that are like less than 210 pounds. And so we've got some guys in the draft this year that people absolutely love that are just small, and they're not like, no matter how much we love them. And I like the exciting players, the Devon A. Chains. Now Swift is bigger than that. This isn't a Swift thing. I kind of got on a little tangent there, but we know as like the way these coaches think, right? Like the Pollard is a great question as well. Now that Zeke's cut, like I think they're going to still bring in a bigger back because like they have said it, the coaches have said they don't trust and think Pollard can handle 2025 rushes a game, and he's gone the second round. And so, yeah, great point. Bijan's big. Super excited about Bijan. The guy I'm thinking about when I said the draft is Devon A. Chain. Not a guy I'm taking at all. I was listening to another pod today, actually. Davis Maddock had on JJ Zacharyson, and they talked on a very similar thing about the size of running back and just showing like the way these coaches think, no matter how much talented we think a player is and how much we like them, they just don't get the work. I know that went off a little tangent from you asking about Swift and David Montgomery. Again, I guess to say lightly, I'm lower on Swift. If he drops a round or two, I'm still going to have some in my portfolio since I'm more of a balanced exposure player. But I'm excited about David Montgomery. I mean, we saw what Jamal Williams did last year in this offense as the power back. And I think David Montgomery's better. And so I'm excited to draft him.
He is good, right? We like Jamal Williams as a personality. He's fun. He's just a breath of fresh air when it comes to just interviews, right? I enjoyed it 10 times out of 10. If you get me a Jamal Williams interview, I'm guaranteed I'm going to laugh. So it sucks that he's not doing his thing there. And he went to a team, right? He got a contract, so I'm happy for him there. But David Montgomery is a good player. A little injury prone these past 2 seasons, but if he gets on the field, he's going to do something. And his ADP is what, 110, 120?
Yeah.
Bad value right there. So besides him, who's your least favorite free agency signing then? Who did you not?
So this was a little bit more personal. It's not necessarily I hate the signing. But as a Patriots fan, doing the Jacoby for Juju swap, I've seen a lot of discourse on it. Some like more Patriots beat, writers trying to defend it, talk about, this or that with how talented they are. And I realized they're close to the same age as well. Jacoby was an older prospect and things like that. So this is more like a real football take than a fantasy one. But I feel like when you have Brady, you always can get free agents, right? I think at some point as an organization, you need to retain your own guys, like reward players who you bring in and develop. And so to like just kick Jacoby to the curb and then give another wide receiver who I believe is worse. Some people, would debate that, but the same contract. I mean, I feel like it's such a bad look around the league. Like you see, teammates coming out being like, or, hating the Jacoby got let go and things like that. I don't know. I did not like that more on a personal level. The fantasy wise, I mean, they're probably both going to produce about the same, and the Patriots offense is not going to be good. So,
I will say this much for Juju's contract versus Jacoby is, although it's the same for total, Juju did get less when it came to cap guarantees, and a lot of his stuff is incentive based. So if you say they're the same player, not you personally, but if people are saying, hey, that's the same player, then Patriots made the right move in taking the guy with less guarantees and more incentive based, right? Because at the end of the day, they get to save some money. Sure, the top amount's the same, but
that's fair.
If there's any way to save $5 million in the future, 10 million, 8 million, whatever the case may be, I would say that the Juju contract's technically better then, right? So, and they're at the same age. I had a conversation with a friend about this. We were like, isn't Jacoby way younger? And we're like, he's not. Holy crap. Damn.
No, and Jacoby, Jacoby was a college quarterback. He's not as refined of a receiver as Juju. That's one of the main points I've seen. Like I saw a tape grinder who was talking about, if you watch Jacoby, you watch Juju, like, you can tell Juju's been playing wide receiver his whole life versus Jacoby, and he's a lot more nuanced. So, all that stuff is great. I just don't think it's that big of a difference. And I think at some point, the way the Patriots treat their players is going to catch up to them. I mean, it already has started, but I would have liked to seen us retain our own for once. But you know what? We'll see. Maybe I'll be dead wrong, and Juju will have a way better season than Jacoby did, and so we'll see. But what about yourself? What was your favorite signing?
Oh, man, favorite. That's a couple of them. But I would say the Allen Lazard signing, right? I think the Allen Lazard signing is great right now. His ADP is like 138. Goes up a little, goes down a little. Who knows? But at this point, we have to assume, and I say we have to assume, that Aaron Rodgers is going to the Jets. And if he does, then Allen Lazard's going to play as wide receiver 2, 3, with some, he's somewhat a big body guy too overall.
Right.
I like that, especially if we think that Elijah Moore is going to go with that trade to Green Bay. Like, then sign me up. I want Allen Lazard to pick 140 of Aaron Rodgers. Give me that pass chemistry. Give me the distraction that is offensive rookie of the year, Garrett Wilson. At 140, you're going to get spike weeks, an 800 to 1,000-yard guy with 4 to 8 touchdowns at pick 140. I'll take that all day. So some people won't like it. They're going to say, well, it's Allen Lazard. He's this undrafted guy, whatever. We saw what he could have done last year if he would have stayed healthy. Sign me up for him this year. My least favorite, and I'm going to head back to your guys' team, it's James Robinson. Like, what are we doing here? Like, when I saw that signing, I just kept thinking, like, did Damian Harris just, like, die and that we don't know, and they're hiding his body next to like Mar Hamlin? Like, what's going on? Like, why is Damian Harris not signed anywhere, and why did James Robinson get paid $4 million a year? He's getting paid like $2 million less than David Montgomery, and I think like a few million less than like Miles Sanders, guys that actually played their entire season and contributed to their team, right? And James Robinson got traded for and left on the bench. So what did the Patriots see that they paid that much money for him? They paid for him as much as they could have paid for a backup quarterback, and as in Sam Darnold or Gardner Minshew or whatever the case may be. So my least favorite, I think he's not fantasy relevant, but who knows? Maybe he's the guy that goes up the gut, steals 10 touchdowns, and we have to suck it up but I doubt it. I think Ramondre is way more talented. But if you're going to pay somebody $4 million, like there must be some plan for him.
I don't know. I need to look deeper in that contract and see what the guaranteed money is on it. But I'm not worried. I hope this makes Ramondre fall a half round around because, I'm drafting him a lot. And so if that happens, I'm going to be all over it. But what do you think we hop into this draft? And I'm sure we'll talk about a lot more of the signings as we start drafting here. Let's see. Anybody wants to hop in? We're going to be hopping in here. See how many we need. Oh, only one. Oh, and it's filled.
Nice. I'll take it. I mean, better than
all right. We got the 4. I like it. We
gotta get our influencerness up more. The more influencing we get,
we need more
the more 101s that come to us.
I know. Our first stream I did a couple weeks ago, I got the 101, and Justin Jefferson was the cover. I was like, wow, this is perfect. It is rigged. 104 here. I know how did I miss? Oh.
That's our fault. We probably should have hopped in a little earlier because I know some people like to wait and do all their stuff on the side with us, steal our picks.
No, I should.
Just kidding. Not you, Stephanie. I know you don't. So I know last week we went elite quarterback, which funny enough, right after that draft, when I did one later, I ended up going elite quarterback again, and I was just like, man, well, we were going to try to mix it up, and it is what it is.
Yeah, I'm not taking much elite quarterback, especially if I get Kelsey, I'll sometimes force the Mahomes or things like that. Even Burrow, the Chase T Burrow stack is just so easy to get that I do have it a few times. But yeah, most, I mean, you saw my quarterback exposures. I have a lot of, all right, jump straight in. What are you thinking here? Your boy?
Wait,
is he your 104?
We keep getting Hill every single time we've done this.
Yeah, we can mix it up. I have no problem.
I would say we can get H.A. Brown, I think.
At 4?
I mean, Cooper Kupp is fine
too.
Let's
get some. What I like about this, I probably wouldn't have done that on my own, so I like that you taught me into it. And, it gets us a different build. Like, we've seen teams, finish highly that did something different just to get some different player exposures together. So we'll see how that goes. I remember, I think Pete and Vinefor's team a couple years ago, they just to get different, I think they took Devontae Adams 101 when he was going like 106, 107, and they ended up finishing top 10.
I mean, for my consensus,
you're right. Liam's right. Like, you gotta get weird sometimes,
Oh man, it's the champ himself, Mr. Liams.
It is the champ himself.
But he's the champ. BPM 2 champ. Gotta give props to that no matter what. Like,
absolutely.
And then he also did really well last on the high money stakes too. So
yeah, he dominated DraftKings again, or not again, but probably again.
I think he did 2 contests that he dominated. So
yeah, absolutely.
But I think you got to get a little weird because
I don't mind it. All these guys are
104, 105, 106. You're looking at Hill half the time if you want him, and I feel like I get so much Hill that I do need to try something a little bit different, and I don't like a lot of situations enough.
That's fair. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. You missed both stream drafts, Stephanie. Probably Saturday night or maybe tomorrow night. We'll see. I'm gonna do another long late night stream, so we'll do 2 maybe. Who knows? We'll see how many we can get in. All right, who are we thinking here in the second round? I'm trying to see if there's anyone else. And Garrett Wilson up at 15. I think he's kind of always been there, or has he? No, he's boosted up ahead of Amon-Ra. I don't think he was ahead of Amon-Ra last time I fast drafted, but I'm not doing one every day.
Who, Garrett Wilson?
Yeah.
He's been slowly moving up, right? I think because of the Aaron Rodgers news, people are kind of pushing him up. The Eckler one's the craziest to me right now. I think Eckler was the definitive 104 to 106 with Hill. With his news about being traded, people are kind of freaking out on him.
Yeah.
I would say even before that, we probably should have been a little bit more scared because they have a new offensive coordinator this year. So it might not be the same scheme of passing it at the line of scrimmage 1,000 times anymore. I
mean, at some point, regression has to come for Austin Eckler. Like, at some point. I played that it was going to happen last year and just got crushed. I had like 3% Austin Eckler and it was terrible. But it does have to come, right? At some point, we're going to see it. So what I do kind of like, too, I'm gonna jinx it. We're gonna get it stolen. But I can see how it's impossible right now where AJ Brown goes to get an AJ Brown, a Devonta, and a Jalen Hurts. And like there's you could squint and get that here, It's still probably not gonna come to us.
One of them
But
is going to, if you really
yeah, I mean,
wanted it.
one of them is. Which one would you take here? Would you go ahead and grab Hurts and hope?
I would grab Hurts.
Yeah.
But because I personally don't want to, I like my skinny stacks. I think I was watching a show with, I think it was Hayden's or maybe Spike Weeks, where they were talking about like, hey, do we want to invest that much capital on one team in two positions, right? It didn't really work this well last year. And, obviously you could say that, well, week 17, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, they need to play. But even up until that point, it wasn't the greatest investment to have your first rounder and your second rounder or end of the second round be from the same team as positionals. And I was talking about, we did research for this. If you look at the champions or people who did really well, most of these guys had skinny stacks, right? Myself, my Puppy 2 team was the third highest scoring. The only stack I had on there was Justin Jefferson and Kirk Cousins. I didn't stack the entire roster. Oh, and TJ Hawkinson because he got traded mid-season.
Right.
But that's a tight end versus a wide receiver.
We're up here. I like DK again. I'm okay with Jacobs or ETN. I'm kind of passing on Henry right now.
I would probably grab Henry here. I still think he has a lot of juice in him. I would consider Jacobs.
I just don't know how many touchdowns that offense is going to score. He could get traded. I think we should go DK here.
You want to grab DK?
Yeah.
Would probably grab ETN then. Because I think the issue with DK is Geno's inability to be good in the red zone. I just don't think he's that good in the red zone. As much as I love DK, I don't like Geno. I feel like Ken Walker steals a lot of those touchdowns when they get to goal line. There's no fades coming up.
That's fair, but you're not drafting DK Metcalf for his goal line fades,
You're catching him for his ability to burn and do whatnot, but if you don't have a quarterback that gets it to you, it's fine. Like I had like 50% DK last year. If anyone believed in him, it was me. But I think at round 3, you're asking for a little disappointment there.
I'm not super worried that we need to have the Henry discussion because until we know who's playing quarterback or if he gets traded, I'm staying away. We're gonna have tons of drafts happen this year, and it's just so uncertain right now. And there's a chance, and they're not gonna go Malik Willis, but
that's tough.
Yeah, that's tough, Stephanie.
Hey, I beat Herzig last year in our the fantasy football convention draft. Okay, I finished first in that one. He's beatable. I believe in you.
But no, so I don't know. That's my opinion on Henry right now. Is I'm just not taking him until we find out more about that offense or where he's going to be.
So, the second thing I like about Henry right now is that even if he gets traded, I don't see him going to a team that's not a contender, right? Like you don't see him going from this to the Ravens or like the Browns. You're going to see him go to a real team. You're not going to.
Those two teams are pretty real that you gave. I get what you're saying though.
Yeah, he's going to like a real contender.
Yeah, team, Buffalo's been rumored, as a team that might consider making a trade for him.
Dolphins. He's on a team that would need him. So I feel
that is a fair point. That's a fair point.
So I'm not worried about the trade portion. I think I'm
just afraid if he gets stuck. If he gets stuck in Tennessee, that I don't know, man. That team is tanking for Caleb.
So if he goes at pick 36, how do you feel about that then?
What? At pick 36, is that where he went?
That's where he went. He went pick at 36.
Yeah, I would have taken him at the 3-4 turn. I just he's I don't know. It's not that much of a difference, I guess, but I don't know. I'm waiting on him to see the situation there. They've lost a couple offensive linemen as well. That's just not a situation I'm ready to invest in. Luan is gone, which again he was hurt last year. Isn't their center Ben Jones signed somewhere else as well? I believe
a bit of stuff moved off that team,
and so that's not. I'm not investing in him until we know more about where he's at personally.
All right, so who do you want here? I would vote Judy, honestly, at this point.
Yeah, it's Judy or London for me. I could even, I'd rather do Judy or Judy. Well,
I'd want Judy and McLaurin here. I like Jacoby Brissett for them or how. Because Jacoby Brissett plays a lot of that 50-50 ball, and I think McLaurin strives in that. He's not separating on slants, in routes. He's playing deep. And Jacoby Brissett plays that well. When he was on Miami, or if Amari Cooper or DPJ, he was giving those 50-50 balls. And I think Terry McLaurin actually moves up in my book if Jacoby Brissett starts. Or even if Hal starts.
No, I like Terry this year. I'm not, he's just so consistent. I do not mind going after him.
So if we don't grab a running back here, we grab our fourth receiver. Then I think we have to start really pushing.
The Swift decision. Do what?
If we don't grab a running back here, we grab our fourth receiver. I think we have to kind of move into the running backs in the next 2 rounds.
Yeah, I'm fine waiting because like on down, Aaron Jones, Pierce, Dobbins. Pacheco, I like. Godwin.
This is
or Jameson. I don't know if we've done Jameson.
Yes, perfect pick.
Yeah.
You want that. We have 3 strong receivers. You want a guy that can do the home run hits.
Yeah, we want those 30-point games that Jameson Williams has the potential of getting for us.
We already have, I would say, 1 possessional guy with upside, 2 deep threats, and a 3rd deep threat. Like we're just hoping we get home runs.
What are you thinking about these trade rumors involving like Judy, Sutton, and guys like that? It seems like it's very, very real.
I think it's likely. I think one of these guys is moving. I don't think it's Tim Patrick. He came off an injury. KJ Hamler's talks were there for a second. I have a feeling it's likely to be Judy because someone's willing to offer a first. Mm-hmm. And I know the Broncos are probably going to want that first-round pick. But if that's the case, I just don't know what team takes him. That's the part that I'm questioning. It's like, who would actually take Judy and give him a first plus? Because they asked for a minimum first-round pick for Jerry Judy.
Yeah, I saw first or high second. I'd love for the Patriots to trade their 2nd-round pick if we could get Judy. That'd be amazing. So we'll see. We'll see where that goes.
I was just trying to think what team makes sense to even do it, let alone what I'm excited for.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, Buffalo, as their big slot.
Yeah,
or even as
so Buffalo does it has to be a first because there's no way a team's taking a second from Buffalo.
No,
right?
it would be their first, but I'm just saying that's a team that could be like totally justify. Yeah, take our first. We're going. Yeah. We're all in. Like that's totally fine.
That'd be such a good receiving core. I would like that. I think that would be a full-on upgrade, and you'll see Jerry Judy at pick 30.
Yeah, no, it would be awesome. I mean, literally anyone, right? Because, they're rumored for Godwin. Anyone that goes to Buffalo is going to be a great pickup. So we're coming back around here. I mean, if Swift falls all the way to the 6-7, I mean, it'd be fine taking him at this point.
I honestly would skip Swift and probably go Pierce or Gibbs.
Really?
I like Gibbs, Pierce, Dalvin Cook more than I like Swift. I feel like any of these guys are likely to play more games, get a solo role, more likely to.
Yeah, I mean, Pierce is definitely going to have that solo role for sure.
And the coaching change to me is a big deal, right? He's going to go into a defensive-minded coach. They're probably going to go up there, get those goal lines with CJ Stroud or just headbutt their way in. Or sorry, not CJ Stroud. They're going to get
Bryce Young. And too, like Bryce Young's a real small quarterback. You're probably not doing
so
as
they're
many
going to end
QB
up having
sneaks.
Pierce just gut it in at the goal line.
Yeah.
So that's how I picture these games going. So.
And Pierce does go,
Yep.
Good
so
sniped on
Cooks,
him.
Gibbs, Dobbins. I take it Gibbs. It just, I feel
like if you're going to take Gibbs, you should just take Swift.
Yeah, but where does Gibbs go, right?
Gibbs, I think, is going to be in a committee just like Swift. I really do. And you already know the offense that Swift is in. I'd rather just take Swift here. I mean, we're getting him a whole round late. Do what?
I would go Gibbs in my mind. Or Cook.
Where's Cook going to be?
He's going to get traded.
I'll give you Gibbs.
Give me Gibbs, yeah. Because I don't trust Swift's health situation.
I just think that the same things we're saying and worried about with DeAndre Swift are going to be the same things that are going to be true for Gibbs. Sub 200-pound back. He's going to be in a committee.
I didn't say about the committee push I'm worried about. I'm worried about the health issue. I mean, I think Swift got hurt at his combine. No, I'm serious.
I don't know. I just at this point, I mean, it's fair. That's fair. If he makes it back to us, though, I think we have to take him. 20
If he
picks
makes it
after
back to
ADP.
us, I would grab Goddard and just fucking go with Goddard.
Well, yeah,
and
fine.
take that.
If Swift goes, all right. We don't even have to make the decision.
Perfect. Can we get Goddard? Huh?
I would love to take Goddard.
Oh.
Yeah, if we can get Goddard, that'd be awesome. This person's working on a 3-3. Probably going late QB.
He's most likely going tight end, right?
Yeah, it would make sense.
Would you be okay with Akers then at the back of this, or Dotson?
Let's see.
Goddard. Cool. He went for
nice. Love that. And see, I do like it with a team like Philly. Like, we're done with the Eagles now.
Yeah, we're done with the Eagles. We're not grabbing in Quez Watkins,
I mean, Gainwell, he's my guy, which I'm backing off of him, of course, now with Penny. I do think, though, there is some merit to, like, full team stacking. I really do. Like, if you're betting on an offense. But I get what you're saying as far as, like, the peak upside in a skinny stack versus, like 6 guys from the same offense just aren't going to score in the same week.
I wouldn't even consider a tight end like the same situation, right? 2 receivers versus a wide receiver tight end to me is 2 different things, right? Like 2 receivers, it just points up a little bit different. But the tight end, you're paying for the tight end upside, which is Goddard. So I wouldn't consider him that kind of a stack situation for this versus if it was Devontae Smith.
I don't love Gibbs as our RB1, but it's fine. We'll probably grab another RB here.
There wasn't many RB1s I'd like at pick 69, honestly.
No.
Besides Dobbins, and he was already gone.
Yeah. Yeah, we lost Dobbins and Pierce there, which that's fine. But yeah, no, this is something I might experiment more with after seeing, what was potentially available for us going AJ Brown at 4 and getting different like that. Because I do think like a full team stack is more, viable than you do. So like, I would love to have a few Hurts, AJB, Devontae teams, and right now you just can't build it. So taking AJ Brown early to set it up at the 2-3 turn is pretty interesting.
I think like I said, skinny stacking is fine. High invested capital is one thing. That's what kills it for me most of the time.
That makes sense.
I think if you're small stacking at the end, right, like Nico Collins, John Mechie, or last year's Evan Ingram into like Zay Jones, like that's not a problem. But I think when you're going at the top of this, it gets kind of much. Because think about all the teams that did those heavy stacks and then didn't work out. You're talking like Kansas City Chiefs didn't work out. Grabbing all their receivers didn't do anything. It worked 20 okay.
20 picks ahead of 8 for Juju.
I would never do that. I don't see it.
No.
Brandon Cook's going a little early is crazy to me. He's not even on a team yet besides with the
he's technically
He's with the Texans and they signed Robert Woods.
Yeah, no. Well, they play different positions, but still. For me here,
that's crazy to me.
Do what?
I just think it's weird to take Brandon Cook's 14 spots early.
No. Yeah, I think it's weird to take Brandon Cooks.
Damn. He can, it's good for trade news. He goes somewhere. It's gonna be healthy.
That's true. If he's the guy that goes to Buffalo, we're just gonna rumor everyone to Buffalo, so then we're right.
So who do you want here? Like I said, I think we do need to grab running back.
I don't want to take Mixon until we know more.
No, I'm not grabbing Mixon. I'm thinking like Algier, Rashad White.
Rashad White. I like Rashad White a lot here.
That team is pretty bad now, right? Though, but I think you can grab Tyler Rashad.
We know Atlanta's going to run it. Do what?
We can grab either or.
They're both gonna. Let's see if we can push. We probably can't, but they're both going to be in a committee anyway. But we know Atlanta's is gonna run the ball.
No, got grabbed. Jacoby Myers. You think the news would go and make him go down, but people are sold because they believe Jimmy G can't throw it at all,
right?
Which is fair.
No, he has not been great in his career outside the numbers, but also Devontae Adams is Devontae Adams. So
yeah, he's
gonna be fine.
Amazing. Is Devontae Adams a round 1 guy for you still at this point though?
At the turn back into round 1, I'm fine with it. I feel like. Remember the FUD coming into last year with Carr? I think ETR had Devontae ranked, huh?
Carr's better than.
Carr's better, but people had him ranked super low not super low, but second rounds, last year. Now I'm not worried about Devontae.
Do you want to grab your boy James Cook?
No.
I think we can grab Rashad White here. I like Brian Robinson too.
I like Rashad. I think I'm okay even with Connor or Charbonnet. Charbonnet's kind of this year's Brian Robinson for me. Yeah.
He's this year's Rob. Like I said, I'd rather have Brian just over
I just
Charbonnet.
think I've seen Brian Robinson fall a lot, so I think we could kind of wait on him if we wanted. We could try and push it. I'd probably rather just go Rashad.
You want to grab that value, the 9 ADP value?
Of course. The only reason, and two, I think Cook's gonna fall when Buffalo brings in their bigger back, like I'm expecting them to do.
I have no James Cook besides the time we draft them together. I
don't have none. I'd like James Cook a lot. I think he's super talented, and I hope he gets more opportunity this year. But he just feels like the same situation where, they're gonna bring in the bigger back because that's just what NFL teams do. And maybe Buffalo's different. I mean, they went last year with Singletary, and James Cook. So maybe they do ride him as their RB1, and not that he won't still be the RB1, but like I think they're going to bring in another guy, whether it's in the draft or something like that.
I think the Bills want something better, so I'm not too sold on them.
I mean, we know they tried to trade for CMC. They've been rumored for Eckler. They've been rumored for Henry. Like those rumors usually don't just come out of nowhere, and we know they were in on CMC. I mean, obviously, any good team like that makes sense. CMC, but still, like we know they're wanting to upgrade the RB position.
Oh, I like that pick from MTC. I like AJ Dillon right now. I really do. I think at pick 108, like that's exactly the guy I'm kind of aiming for. He's gonna get you like 2 to 6 spike weeks throughout the season, and it won't be like amazing 30-point games, but like you're talking 60 yards, 80 yards, and a touchdown. Like that's in AJ Dillon's realm. Yeah, ahead of Aaron Jones right now.
Goes Rashad Penny off the board. What are your thoughts? Is this the range you think he should go in? 10th round?
He's going to go earlier. I think he's going to go into the 90s, 80s. I like this pick too. I kind of forget he exists here.
And it's hard. Yeah.
After we drafted him in like 180 for like the first 2 months of this.
I know. Luckily, I've done a lot, and Penny was a guy I was in on. So I have my bags are packed in this tournament on Penny. I've got he's in my top 10 player exposures right now, so I'm probably gonna stop drafting him for the moment, and then
I would add him. I would, like I said, I pick 110 for a running back to get you 1,000 yards and 6 to 10 touchdowns. Like that's value.
Right. No, I don't mean it's a bad pick at the moment. I'm just saying I've already picked so much of him at a later ADP in this tournament. All right. Like I said, did I call it or did I call it? He falls. People hate him, and I get it. I mean, he's not an exciting player. I don't even think he's that good. But he's gonna get the work. They gave him 20 plus carries, especially if they go into a season with, Brissett and Howe as their only QB options. Like he's gonna get the work, and so, he falls in these, and so I'm happy with that.
It's a good call. It makes sense. Like I said, like you just take it for what it is, and
Brian Robson,
I think he gets hit.
For Felix.
I don't want to hear Felix.
Look, he's not good, but he's gonna get work. He's gonna get work at the goal line.
I think the narrative he wasn't good is kind of mean though. Like not in the sense it's like, oh, you're being mean. It's not fair because he had better rushing attempts than Antonio Gibson. It's not like he did like Tony Pollard behind Zeke, right? Where Tony Pollard was like just much better behind Zeke. But like Antonio Gibson, which just wasn't good either. He was worse than Brian Robinson. And a lot of that came down to that offensive line being like ranked 29 in run blocking. Yeah. So I'm going to give him a pass. I want him for those goal line attempts.
So we've only got 4 receivers. It's making me uncomfortable only seeing that.
My guy's going to be on this pick.
Do I?
He's a jet.
I see him there, but I don't know. He might be a guy we could push. We could, if you wanted Goff or Geno for our stack. Or I would
rather have Goff if you're going to go this way, but I don't think I would rather have the receiver in Allen right now.
All right, I'll give you this one. I still don't love Lazard, but
because the way
he's Rodgers' guy, obviously. And
so the reason I like this pick is because even if we lost one of these quarterback, we still have Carr on the back end. Like Carr is still down there, and I feel like Carr has the same numbers as Geno, probably the same numbers as Goff to an extent. I think Goff has more upside though.
And we like Juwan Johnson that we could stack with him.
Yeah, Juwan Johnson. He's Thomas. They paid him another year. You have Olave. Like that's not a bad crew.
Yeah, as a late stack, I don't mind the Saints. Is Shaheed is here as well.
Yeah.
Michael Thomas is gone, right? I think
Most
so.
likely. People reach for Thomas a little bit now.
Yeah, I
He's
think
going
people
like
are starting to talk themselves back into it. I'm not so sure, but
what,
um,
pick 90 to 110? I think it's fine. Like, I'm not against him.
yeah, I agree. I'm not a huge fan either, but he seems to be Rodgers' guy. But I'm just worried the Jets have so many different weapons though. Like I don't know. I'm not, but we don't have to agree on every player. The car goes. Still
Once
leaving
you're gonna
us.
pick 140, you're just taking pop shots on all these guys anyways. So I'm not too worried
It
about it. I
is
think those
late.
are to
Yeah,
return value.
you could. I'm looking at Madison. Well, I'm looking at one of the quarterbacks, Madison. Now that he's re-signed in Minnesota. We were talking about
I
Alan
like Madison.
Lazard, Chris. Do what?
I think Madison's a
Madison.
good pick here. We need it. Our running backs are pretty much the weakest part of our team.
Yeah, I
So
mean, I think it's a fine zero RB team. This is pretty good for zero RB. I mean, I would like with zero RB for our wide receivers to be stronger. But they're still pretty strong. He sucks. Yeah, I'm not a fan either. It's one of Davis's guys though, so I don't mind taking him, mixing him in.
believe me, I heard a lot of that person's not that good for a lot of players, and now they're taking him in the second round. So
Who is that?
oh
All right,
man,
let's see.
we love Michael Pittman.
Yeah,
People like
Pittman.
that. So had a
So we
whole
got Gino
campaign.
here. Do Gino for the stack with DK, with Fant late, or just take Madison.
I would say Madison, Rondale. You sold me a little bit more on some Rondale Moore. I kind of like his situation a lot now.
Wow.
Gallup.
That might have been
Obviously, we
someone else.
talked
All right,
about him.
Madison goes.
We can grab some receivers here. I think we don't have to force ourselves into these like junky RBs.
Yeah, love that stack.
All planned. No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, it's okay. Well, you did force us to take AJ Brown at 4, which again, I don't really mind for mixing it up purposes. So Hodgins is back. I know the Gallup rebound. What are you thinking?
I would
Shaheed,
rather
I
go
like.
Gallop or Rondale. After we talked
Rondale's
about it a little
gone.
bit. You got Rondale got grabbed, so I would rather grab
Let's just
Gallup.
take Gallup. Second year coming back off an injury. Yeah, Alec Pierce. I like Pierce the talent, but I'm so worried about the Colts and that situation. I mean, that team's gonna be horrible.
I had a ton of Pierce last year. I liked what he could do, and I told this to people. Like Pierce and Campbell were going to steal work from Pittman. They're all second round talent guys. Pierce does a different type of game, but he had some weird lapses I did not like. Like he had some weird drops, some missed routes ran. It was a little goofy with Pierce, but he's a rookie, so we give him a pass. I do think he needs a quarterback that can kind of reel him in a little bit. Like I was hoping Derek Carr would be a Colt.
Yeah, I'm just worried though that team.
The team is bad. Like it's a bad team. But they have Gardner Minshew though. Like so Minshew is not terrible. Like actually for what that team had for $4 million, I'd sign Minshew all day.
Yeah.
So I think with Minshew there, it does make me want Pierce a little bit.
Yeah, I'm totally fine with Alec Pierce. I mean, I always bet on young guys and bet on talents that we like.
Yeah. Now, if Alec Pierce found his way to the Patriots now, and Tom Brady was there, he loves himself those scrappy young gym rats.
Let's see. All right, Hodgins. I was thinking about. If we take Anthony Richardson, well, upside as our QB2. We don't really have anyone left that we can stack with at this point.
I would probably just keep pushing the envelope. Maybe we find.
Do you like Shaheed or Chark? I like Chark a lot. I think Chark's
Chark.
gonna. Yeah, I think Chark's gonna go up a decent amount if he signs.
I mean, if the thing about Shaheed was he's an undrafted kick returner. Realistically, I feel like he's not gonna.
Jody was pretty good though. I think
he was fine, but I think Callaway is basically like another guy that's on that team, right?
I mean, is he gonna be on that team? Like Shaheed's at least young.
They re-signed Thomas. They have Olave. I don't know how much work Shaheed gets.
I know, but it's this late. Like he's a guy that we could score 20 points in a game.
I think I'd rather get Shark, hoping he gets signed.
So coming up to this next pick, I'm kind of hope. Well, obviously Damian Harris. I was gonna say P. Ryan. I like him right now as on zero RB teams as a guy that could be the lead back, which I know he's never been that, and he's kind of small.
He's a good pass catcher, and that works really well for Russell Wilson. I think Wilson would do a lot of work with him in the pass catching role. You're not going to get
And Damian goes as well.
explosive games, but I think you'll get flex worthy games. I think.
All right. So, I mean, the quarterbacks are still falling. We do need a second, which Vapor is saying 2 nights ago he did a 1 QB build with Hurts. How do you feel about 1 QB builds?
I think if there isn't a guy there, that's fine.
It's
if
tough
there
for me
isn't
to
a person
do.
there, I'm totally fine with it because there's just certain guys I don't care for right now. Like, do I have to have the quote unquote starter of the Colts right now? The quote unquote starter, like with Jimmy,
Which
G?
we don't even know who that is. Well,
Yeah,
I guess
right?
Minshew, but
Honestly, if I'm, and I know we talked about this from like Spike Week a little bit with taking the backups to a team that's solid. Like, I like the pick that I saw 2 nights ago when someone grabbed Mike White. I like that. I was like, cool. If you want to think Tua's not going to do anything, and your pick 20 is Mike White, then that's great because if injury occurs, you got a guy that is different in the finals kind of situation.
take Purdy and you're done. 223 ADP. Honestly, not the worst. Not the worst idea. Which, I mean, we've kind of got this tier of QBs I still kind of like to fall back to us a little bit.
Jordan Love.
If Anthony Richardson falls back, I'm forcing us to take him. I mean, this is be 20 picks after ADP for.
I mean, how would you feel if he just didn't play a game though, like at all season?
That's fine. I mean, if we take him, I want to tack on like Mac Jones though, or something. Which is tough because we did invest so much at quarterback. That's why going early QB is tough because like you did invest a second rounder. But I mean, I think it's a $10 draft in what month are we? March. And
I mean, I would rather have Tyler Higbee, my boy, or Juwan Johnson here.
No, I'm gonna override that one.
If
we can get Anthony Richardson at 20 picks,
your guys' rookie QB,
which you say 20 picks after ADP is 4 rounds ahead of where he was going, though. That's the only thing.
Tough.
No, we're taking him.
Gross.
I
hope he plays 0 games. If he plays 0 games.
Oh my goodness.
The full project quarterback that, likely going to be behind somebody. I'm just not.
I mean, he probably is going to, but you know what?
I mean, like, people were so stoked about like Malik Willis last year, and like.
No, Malik Willis was like what, a 4th round pick.
What about rookie year Trey Lance? How did that go?
He just get hurt.
Rookie league, Trey Lance didn't get hurt. He just didn't play.
I played by. That's fair. Look, that's the downside. That's why I want to tack on Mac Jones or Jimmy. Like that's fine. Like that is the downside.
We end up investing 3 picks on a quarterback position when we have Hurts.
It's 20 rounds, and we took our second one in the 14th. Yeah, what if you throw him in week 17? Anthony Richard gets in there. He's just scrambling around. It's like 80 yards rushing,
and
2
then
on the ground.
Jalen Hurts on points. Like,
okay, yeah, that'd be awesome. No, I get it. It's not. Do not have too much Anthony Richardson, but
I think you just wanted to grab Richardson. I think that was your goal. Like, I just gotta have a team with him on it. It'd be funny.
I have some teams with him on it in the 18th round, though. That is the thing. It's like we're getting him 20 picks fast ADP, but really you're getting him way earlier. So coming up here, I know you're gonna pound the table for Higbee.
I would say Juwan Johnson, as you hate.
I like Juwan Johnson better. I mean,
I like Higbee
oh my god.
Aha! Here we go with my boy Higbee. Yeah, you doing this? We're gonna get Higbee again.
Oh my god.
How about Jeff
Nico?
Wilson? Jeff Wilson got re-signed. I would take Jeff Wilson there. We need a 5th running back anyways.
Fine. I'll give you that one. I kind of like Nico there, though.
I would not grab Nico. Not on this team. It doesn't make any sense to.
We only have 7 wide receivers.
We have 4 of our picks in the top 50. Though.
Davis, I'm going to get you to start drafting some more wide receivers.
I'm telling you, it does not add up the way you guys think it does.
Yeah, but it's a lot more fun. Have you considered the fun part?
My best team, like I said, did not have, like, it requires 5 receivers in the top 75 to 100 picks.
We'll see.
I have seen it. I have seen how it turned out. I just don't think Nico's there yet.
I think we still
wish he was better. I would rather take a shot on other guys right now.
That's fair.
If you actually watch his games,
Mims. I like Mims a lot. I think Mims is going to get 2nd round draft capital.
Yeah, I mean that's fine. I would rather do that. I'd rather grab someone that didn't stink up or got hurt the first 2 years.
Yeah, I mean this is an upside guy. I don't know if anyone who's watching is in this, but we can cue him because I'm a big fan. Yeah, no, we'll have to check it out, Stephanie.
Oh yeah,
I think me and Dave talked a lot. Hero RB, is probably GTO, but I mean, you never know. Like, okay, Mims goes.
I'm all about Hero. If you catch us every week, paper, I'll bring it up. I love Hero. Last year, I love Hero this year.
Yeah, his best. Yeah, Mims seems good. What's the Jets receiver Mims? That's his cousin, I believe. I'm not kidding. I think it actually is.
Denzel Mims.
Denzel Mims. Yeah, no, they are related. I'm not sure if they're brothers or cousins, but they are related. I heard that on something the other day. So we're in a pretty wide receiver heavy room, so we probably can wait. I mean, these are dart throws anyway. Slayton all the way down here after getting re-signed. He's at 218. I like that.
Like I said, I think you're fine. If you want to grab your 8th receiver for Mims, that's fine. I think we still have a couple guys.
I mean, Mims got taken.
We still have Warren. I think Warren's there for running back. We have
I like Jalen Warren.
Zach Evans. Of course, Warren gets grabbed.
I kind of like Tank. He's a guy I've watched a lot in college. He's a pedigree guy, which I like betting on the 5-star stuff, and I think NFL teams also bet on that.
I would rather grab Israel. I think it was a better prospect right now.
Yeah, no, I have a lot of him. Is he still down that far? Yeah, he is.
Down there. He's way down there. And I thought that was interesting.
Zach Evans.
I think Tank Bigsby is getting a lot of love just because of his name. People just
I mean, I actually legit I like him. Everett, or we could wait. I mean, fancy. Everett. He had a good season.
Everett. He might not even be. He might get replaced by Gesicki and etc.
All right, we need to make. Let's see. You gonna go down and gonna grab Izzy? I mean, ADP doesn't matter at this point. Or do you want to grab one of these quarterbacks? We have.
Grab your buddy Mackie Jones.
We might take him at our next pick. Yeah. I like Izzy though. I have a good amount of him.
See, Chris made a good point. He loves the name Tank. Like I said, people just love the name.
Tank Bigsby was actually a pretty big time prospect when he went to Auburn. I need to look up exactly what he was, and was supposed to be one of the next guys who gets draft capital. I mean, he even was getting before last year a small bit of 1st-round buzz. He's a big back, but I mean, he's not I don't think he had much pass production because that Auburn offense the last few years has just been putrid under Brian Harsin. I know I'm going down a college wormhole right now, but I think he's actually a decent prospect. But
I'm curious what happens to Stafford right now. We're at 196. It would not get Stafford. Would you take a pop shot on Stafford at this point? He didn't retire. That's why I'm thinking.
No, not yet. I think people are worried about that he might retire. I don't know. You just want to take him?
Yeah. I mean,
45 picks.
We have 2 random QBs so that I might as well get the guy that could.
I mean, we could throw down. We could throw a Tutu Atwell on the end of this team. I know you've taken some Van.
I'll take all the Van Jefferson.
I think he got picked. Yeah, Slayton is still here.
Slayton's an interesting one for sure because
he just got pretty good amount of money. Yeah, he just got re-signed. I like him.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm worried about Stafford potentially retiring, but we'll see.
Of course, he's been hurt crazy these last few years. But I think you made a good point. So you brought up Slayton. I brought up Jeff Wilson. A lot of these guys are at the bottom that should be drafted 40 spots earlier. There's no reason why Jeff Wilson should be pick 200 right now. You should grabbing Jeff Wilson, Raheem Mostert from 180, 190 is the most free RB3 you're gonna get.
Yeah.
There's no better value RB3 than those 2 guys. So I would be grabbing a ton of those. Even if they only play 5 games each, it's still gonna pay out.
Yeah, I like this team. This is a pretty solid 0 RB team. I wish we had one more stronger wide receiver.
You hate our receivers every week.
I mean, I don't know. One more stronger receiver would make me feel so much better about this team.
We could have fit it. We didn't have any good running backs. We took our first running back at pick 69.
This is what happens when you take a quarterback in the 2nd round. I just don't like the team as much,
And this is what we were talking about before. I just really don't like doing it. But
no,
it
That's why I
fell
don't have
to us in a stack.
much of Hurts.
If you actually look at this stream I did with EJ, we laughed about this because I was like, yeah, I got carried by Jalen last year when I won our advanced. I was like, I just got carried by Jalen. I have to admit the quarterback points are huge. Oh yeah, Goddard cost us a good pick.
Yeah, I mean, especially like on Mahomes' team, I just feel terrible about my wide. If you do Mahomes, Kelsey, I just feel terrible about wide receivers and running backs. I'm worried about the wide receivers. Yeah, me and Stephanie are on the same page. But no, we have some good guys. Chark, if he'll go up a little bit. Maybe Gallup bounces back and Dallas. Maybe if Dallas brings in Hopkins, I don't know. We'll see. And then I just personally don't like Lazard, but I know that you think he's better than some people do, so that's fine to take that shot on him. All right. Thanks for hanging out, Bob. Appreciate it.
Bob. 4 out of 5 champion, Bob. So we have 2 picks. Pick 18, 19, and 20. We do need a second tight end. I think Conklin is fine. I would grab Conklin into Gus Edwards and a receiver and call it a day. I like Conklin here. I like Gus as our 6th RB or 7th RB on this RB middle team. Add an 8th receiver.
Yeah, I like that. I think tight end, 6 points a week, we're fine. Like we didn't get Kelsey, so I'm not too worried about getting smashed at tight end with 2. Who'd you say you like? I like Jerome Ford, as you know.
I was gonna say
I like Chase Brown a little bit. He's a bigger back. Had a pretty good combine, if I'm not mistaken.
How about James Robinson? Know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No, I was gonna grab Gus Edwards because Gus Edwards is still likely the RB2 for that.
We should take
Ravens.
Someone. Yeah, 2-2. We gotta have someone on the team that is about my size. 5'2".
You want to grab 2-2 Allen Robinson?
Alec Pierce, yeah. Or Prince.
Oh,
Prince, sorry.
We can grab Slayton too.
He went. I would have picked Slayton instead of Conklin, but he went in front of Conklin. But yeah, I was going to bring him up, but where did he get? Russell Gage went?
Oh, Gage.
Yeah, Slayton and Corey Davis went.
Would you want Gage or Dortch?
Third option.
Third option.
Sheesh.
I'm actually a little surprised that Richard James didn't get re-signed to the Giants. He was one of their better receivers. He was better than Isaiah Hodgins last year.
I don't know about that, but he's so small. Like
the chemistry worked for him, though. There we go. That's where it's at. Tutu Atwell, baby. 2nd round pick. You got to give it a better name. 2nd round pick, Tutu Atwell.
We could probably wait on him. Yeah, I'm not gonna. Which running back here? So
I would go for Gus Edwards, but I think he might be taken already. Yeah, he did.
He went. I mean, for me, it's Pierre or Ford.
I would get Ford or James Robinson, huh?
Nope.
He's getting paid more than Pierre Strong, man. You might as well use him.
No. I'm gonna do a deep dive on that contract when this is over. I hope that's like, it actually turns out James Robinson was cut in camp. I mean, the freaking Jets didn't bring him back. Like, no. But Jonathan Knight's pretty good, so I get that. Oh, Mac's still there. Quarterbacks fell a lot. I wonder if people did more 2 QB teams in this one. 2. Yeah. Well, that's a 3. This is ours. That's 3. I don't know. There's a few 2 QB teams, I guess. That's why. That's usually, I feel like this whole tier goes, and maybe they take them here. There's still 2 rounds. Two rounds left.
People did not want Mac Jones at all.
Facts, Chris. We do need to do that. People did. Yeah, I know. Who would not want my highest exposed player? See, there's people ask me why I have so much Mac Jones. Like, I mean, 19th, 20th round, you get a guaranteed starter. When I'm not usually taking the lead, I'm doing 3 QB builds. You can just get Mac Jones, then you can add Devontae Parker or Hunter Henry.
Kendrick Bourne
goes late. Like, that's why I have so much Mac Jones. Not that I think he's going to light the fantasy world on fire. It's just if I'm building 3 late QB teams, I mean, he's just always here and he's a starter.
Costs you nothing.
Yeah. That's why, like, I'm not too worried about having so much exposure to him.
You don't have to explain to people how I stacked Matthew Stafford with Tutu Atwell.
Yes. Man, I should let you take what's his name? Your boy Higby. No, we could have the double. He would have the double. I like Conklin though. He's being pretty solid.
He put up last year, man. Say what you will, but that guy did. So I can't hate on it. And Uzomah's a pure blocker mostly, anyways. So it makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to stay off Pierce strong now, though, thanks to James Robinson. Just can't.
I feel like the contract can't be that guaranteed.
It's a max of $8 million, but
max 8. I know it's a max $8 million, but I mean, I need to look deeper in. Like, there could be like $300K guaranteed or something, or $600K. Yeah, let's look into it right now. All right, let's recap the team. We got the Jalen. We took AJ Brown at 4 to mix it up. Something that opened my eyes to the fact I'm going to do that more to get the AJB Devonta stack with Hurts. And we got Goddard. We got our Philly triple. We got my fantasy QB1.
Of course.
Nice 0 RB
I know
team.
you're not high at Gibbs, but at pick 69.
Yeah, no, it's fine. Nice 0 RB mix. A lot of young guys that I like. A couple rookie shots. Wish we had one more like a better receiver, but it's what happens when you take elite quarterback and then a tight end in the 5th. Like, one position's going to suffer, which I mean, we went 0 RB.
But I'll say this right now: if you look at the receivers, they're all deep shot guys. The majority of them are, right? You have Brown, DK Metcalf, Jamison, Gallup, DJ Shark. There's a lot of deep shot dudes. And you got a little bit of possession in there with Jerry Judy, Allen Lazard. I think it works itself out on most weeks. And it has a high upside. That's a high upside team if they all get somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah, Conklin is consistent. I remember playing him in DFS a lot last year. All right. Let's see.
Other than that.
Yeah, I like that team. That was a good team.
Super, super weird team. We got to stop drafting elite quarterback. Next time. We got to dodge that.
My contact messed up. Okay.
Other than that, we'll see you guys next week. If you have any topics or questions for us, let us know. We can definitely talk about it. And hopefully free agency goes through. I will be drawing Damian Harris every week, every day until he gets signed. Okay. No, I'm just kidding. Hope, is there anything from you?
No, I should be back. I'm not sure if it's going to be tomorrow night or Saturday night, but doing a late night stream. So yeah, come hang out, have a couple of drinks probably. And yeah, if you don't mind, if you haven't subbed, as you can tell, I mean, we're so close to our sub goal. I mean, right there, really. So if you don't mind, we appreciate it. But yeah, thanks for hanging out with us.
Yeah, we'll call ourselves Mr. Beastball.
That's